now I'm going to get to this evening's event. What I'm going to do first is, by the way, I am not going to do justice at all to the panel that I'm going to introduce to you today. I'm going to give them very brief introductions, even though I could spend a lot of time spending a lot of time talking about them, but we just have too much to do. And I know you know them all probably anyway, at least most of them. So nearest to us is Professor Malcolm Bowman. He's a distinguished service professor. He's a physical oceanographer, and he's been involved in many issues with research in physical oceanography over the years. But in recent years, he's been very involved in a lot of issues relating human activities and coastal safety and other issues relating to physical oceanography. He's going to talk about some of the issues about water circulation in the Gulf. After him is Jim Ammerman, who right now is the director of New York State SeaGrad, but he's been at a number of other institutions, and he was at Texas A&M, most importantly, and he, over the years, has done a lot of research, particularly on the marine microbiology of the Gulf Coast. And so we're very anxious to hear his comments. After that, in the center is Carl Safina. Carl Safina, oh my goodness. We have some empty seats around the place, but not so many left, I'm afraid. Carl Safina is a marine conservationist. He is the president of the Blue Ocean Institute. He is the author of a number of books. The one that I think has affected me the most in many ways is Song from the Blue Ocean. I bet you a number of you have read this book or read part of it. It really documents the decline of the ocean's fisheries about as well as any document you're going to see. And I just got kind of pushed here to show his new book. Oh, you can't even get it yet. But here it is, The View from Lazy Point, which he's been working on for the last couple of years, I understand. And how do you get a copy? If it isn't out there. Ah, okay. Well, I feel bereft. Okay. And he has a number of books on natural history, about albatrosses and sea turtles, and they're all uniformly fascinating. If you want to, especially students who want a really wonderful introduction, don't read a textbook about that sort of stuff like me. Read Carl's books, they'll get you interested in the subject immediately. And after Carl is Professor Anne McElroy. She is at the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, weirdly known as SOMAS, on this campus at Stony Brook University. She is an expert in marine toxicology and has done a very large amount of research on the toxicology of organic compounds, principally on marine vertebrates like fishes. She's also been very interested in the evolution of resistance to toxic substances and has worked a lot on a great variety of toxic substances, and certainly the toxicity of oil is a very important issue. And last, we have Jim Klurfeld, who has we're very lucky to have him. He's filling in for Howie Schneider. Jim Klurfeld, however, has a tremendous background of his own. He was the head of the editorial page in Newsday, has a broad range of reporting experience and presidential reporting experience in other places. And he also is part of an investigative team that won the 1970 Pulitzer Prize for Public Service investigating corruption in 3 towns in Long Island. Can you imagine that? There's corruption on Long Island. Who would have thought that? So the way this is going to work, and it's now about 20 to 8. We don't want to be here all night, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of interest in the audience once the panel gets through speaking. So I'm going to give a brief introduction. Really, it's only going to be a timeline of the oil spill, and I'm going to go through it rather quickly. Then we're going to go in a row from Professor Bowman all the way to the other side, and they are going to speak 5 minutes or so, no more. And notice I'm looking at you saying that, but I really am looking at them saying that. And you know how academics are. But they're going to go through that. Then we're going to have a more open discussion. Maybe one or two of them will think of something that has been said by others and they'll want to react to it. So we'll spend 15 minutes or so doing that. And then we're going to open up the floor to comments and questions. And I have a feeling there are going to be a bunch of them. So that's going to be the way the evening is going to proceed. So I'm going to try to quickly spend just a couple of minutes going through the timeline. If any of you are interested in this, you really don't need to rely on my timeline. There are so many online, and as long as you, I can think of some places I wouldn't take the timeline seriously, but if you go, for example, to Reuters and use their timeline, it's really quite reasonable. So I think you all know that April 20th, there was an explosion in the Deepwater Horizon platform about 40 miles southeast of the coast of Louisiana, about 30 years within 2 days of the first Earth Day. What a wonderful celebration for Earth Day. That was, a couple of days later, the platform sank. And then a couple of days after that, on April 25th, 5 days later, the U.S. Coast Guard estimated the leak at 1,000 barrels per day. That's the first moment that we see something that's really newsworthy and very significant in later issues concerning this oil leak. And then almost immediately there was a moratorium issued by President Obama on April 30th on shallow and deep wells, and there were later strictures as well on drilling. Then in May 2nd, there was this famous relief well. And I think you all know from the news, since you're all here, I think you all probably listened carefully and watched carefully that there were all of these ways of killing the oil spill, killing the well, always top kill. Instead of we killed the well, you have to hear this day after day. And the first type of kill was putting a relief well, but people were discouraged because it was going to take months for a relief well to work. That started in May. But then there was this hilarious-looking 100-ton dome that was put down over the well, and it didn't work out so well.